Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Okay, doing a little bit of a different topic today in this regards, using my Light Seers Tarot. I'm then going to move to my Nature's Whispers Oracle cards, and I very possibly might do a spread using my own Meister's storytelling cards. So I wanted to, following up from yesterday's reading in regards to the oil industry and the fact that if we go to renewals, it takes away uh, um, uh, the international, a lot of the international aggression over oil, etc. But I want to have a look about with water, because it is said that when the next major, it's not going to be about oil, which is about energy. The next major issue with the world is about conflict over water. Water is life. The water system in the world is a closed circuit. So if water is polluted, it is polluted. It's a closed circuit. We can attempt to clean it. If we overuse it, and then it goes into a different, I'm just saying it goes into a different system. So we've got the cycle is basically clouds drop moisture either onto the land or over the sea, and 2/3 of the earth is sea. And then we use that water. Then goes to wherever that it gets evaporated back up again, becomes clouds, drops, etc. So it is a cycle that is a closed system cycle. There has been researchers and scientists have been finding that the clouds are holding a certain percentage of microplastics. I just really don't know where this reading's going to go. Let's just get started. So what prompted me was above the fifth column, so it's BEAU of the fifth column, had a video a couple of days ago about the Colorado River and the fact that development is happening along the Colorado towns that draw from the Colorado River that will outstrip the ability for the river to supply water to those developments. We're talking about new housing, etc. Now, I did a quick look in those cities I'm not talking about all the little places, I'm talking about the big cities, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Denver, Salt Lake City, sectors of Los Angeles, Tucson, Flagstaff. They're all dependent on the Colorado River to supply drinking water, to supply washing water, and whatever water is used, water for crops, water for golf courses and swimming pools, whatever. Those particular cities are increasing in size and all draw on the Colorado River, and I'm sure there's more that I haven't named. Similar with the Mississippi River, at the moment the rivers are not coping. At the moment what's happening is with climate change, and do not confuse climate change, climate with weather. Weather is daily, climate is overall. What's happening in the US is the lack of snowfall, which would normally create spring melt, which would refill the reservoirs and fill these rivers. It's not happening because of the changes. Now, I do apologise, the light's changing here. We've got a cloudy day. Australia, we are very conscious of of the water that we have. Although, I am known to linger in the shower a bit longer than necessary, but it is compulsory in Australia to have, we call them dual flush toilets, where there's two buttons in one for one and one for two, and it will determine the volume of water that gets flushed through, and the systems are designed to really flush. Our taps, etc., our internal taps, our shower heads, etc., have to have a particular water flow rating. I do know when we lived on farm, the very first farm we had tanks with, I think it was 190,000 gallons of, not gallons, litres of water, 190,000 litres. I don't know what that is to gallons, feel free to convert it. But we also had a major dam as well that we would pump from a nearby river into to actually water the crops. So the 190,000 litres was purely for the domestic use. We were going through a massive drought. We were about the only ones out of all the people I knew who didn't run out of water because we had this massive tank system. The next farm we moved to, I insisted that we have a 125,000 litre tank installed. Again, we never ran out of water domestically, but again, also we pumped in for the irrigation from the nearby river. So very, very aware of water in this country. So I just want to have a look. I'm not quite sure where this reading is going to go. I just want to have a look. The future of water. Show me the future of water. Show me what do we need to know, the energies that we need to know about water usage. I know there's desalination plants. They are very energy thirsty and expensive to build, but energy thirsty to run. But what happens to the excess salt that's taken out of the water? I do know that there is taking the sewage water, the septic water, and taking out all the impurities and putting it back as drinking water. But I just want to have a look, just generally the energies of water. Hooey, what do we need to know? We are approaching a tower moment where what we are currently doing is not working. And I'm talking about worldwide. I'm not just talking about US, Australia, Europe, or whatever it is. We are undergoing dramatic change, climate change. Goodness me, we're heading into winter and my passion fruit and grapevine are going, oh, it feels like spring. And they're putting out new shoots and new fruit. The plants are confused. But it is literally, we are undergoing dramatic climate change where we have to really tear down the way we treat water and rethink and rebuild from the ground up. Absolutely, I will agree. It's not about damning for me and bugger for you type thing. We really need to rethink. We are at this point where we need to take the blindfold off and look at truth, brutal clarity, truth, wisdom, knowledge of our use of water. Absolutely. Should we be building in a desert and expecting green lawns? Should we be watering massive golf courses for the use of very few? Does everybody need a swimming pool? Those sorts of things. A redesigning of the tap system within houses. Flint is a perfect example about how easy it is for the water just to become unusable. But we really need to take the blindfold off. We are at the crossroads moment in regards to this. The energies behind the scenes, the judgment card. I'm going to just call it as it is, judgment. We are facing a judgment moment in regards to our use of water, and it is really anxiety ridden. There's a lot of anxiety about water security. There are solutions, but we need to embrace the solution. So there's a lot of anxiety about water security throughout the world, and we are facing a judgment moment. And what is happening is that there are we need to think of water as a full planet system. So what's happening in some areas, I gather they do this in areas like Saudi Arabia where they seed the clouds to force them to drop the rain, which is all well and good, and then you end up with some massive flooding potentially. I don't know that the recent flooding was due to cloud seeding. But if they force the rain to drop in one area through the manipulation and ability, it means there is no moisture available to drop in the area that it traditionally does so. So what will happen is a country will seed the clouds, harvest the rain, but the next country over is then left barren and destitute. So there's a lot of anxiety about water security. We are facing a judgment moment. And here we've got the Five of Wands, the infighting, I'm just going to say it's like 10 farmers in a row, and farmer number one puts a dam across the river. So it's a reduced flow to farmer number two. He then puts a dam across the river to ensure his water supply, and therefore a reduced trickle to farmer number three, who then, because he's anxious about his water security, he puts a dam across his section of the river. By the time you get down to farmers number 4, 5, and 6 and onwards, there is no water. So this is very much about undermining, tearing down for the sake of greed. And I won't even say greed, it's just comes out of this anxiety and this fear. And I completely understand that. But this is the judgment in regards to the use of water and the capture of water. And this is very much what's in it for me and tough bickies for the rest. Oh boy, oh boy. We've got the Nine of Swords here, the anxiety. Water is cyclical. It is planet-wide and it is cyclical. This is about ensuring there is enough for everybody. And there is enough for everybody. As long as we're not greedy, we don't overuse, we don't expect our 3 acres of lush lawn in the middle of the Phoenix Desert. There is enough for everybody, but it will take an understanding of giving and receiving and giving and receiving and giving and receiving and only taking enough. The karma hanging over, there are options. There is an option that we will be intuitively, hopefully, to bring peace throughout the world. There will be an option we are drawn to, and it is a reduced usage option. It is not what we are currently doing. It is not the easiest option, and it is not the one that makes false biggest promises. And you'll notice these 3 are the biggest pentacles. So this is very much about we need to choose the option, and the option that will bring us peace and sharing and compassion is one of the smaller footprint, smaller usage, understanding the value of water. So therefore, do we really need to water our veggie patches with drinkable water? No. I had on both of the farms we had what were called biocycle systems. Absolutely loved it, and I wish I could put one on in suburbia, but I'm not allowed to, where all the wastewater from the house went into a system that was full of microbes that purified the water to a certain degree, wasn't drinkable, but to a standard where it could be pumped out onto the pastures, onto the vegetable gardens, onto the fruit trees. So therefore I was not using drinking water, quality water, for that does not need quality water. The other karma hanging over is it's about we need to see the truth for what it is and let it go. It is the end of a cycle, the end of water greed. This is the karma. If we don't choose it, it will be forced upon us. But this is about recognizing the truth, taking the blindfold off, recognizing the truth, seeing it for what it is, and making the conscious choice to step over into a new way of doing. Again, another 10 of swords, 10 of cups. For the sake of the future, for future families, for the sake of the future. Water is a closed loop, but we are coming to an end of a cycle and we need to step through into a new way of doing. I've read that certain aspects of crop growing where they flood the pastures to let the water soak in. Talk about an inefficient way of crop growing. Needs to be specific placement. Sorry, that's my dog's going off. Specific placement. Sorry, just give her a click under the table. Bindi. Specific placement of moisture. So instead of spraying, it's drip irrigation. So you're actually putting the water directly into the soil where it's needed. It's about producing, developing crops that are less water thirsty. I know in Australia we've developed cotton crops that use about a third of the water that traditionally cotton uses. However, shifting from cotton to hemp would be even better because hemp uses about a tenth of the water of what cotton uses. So hemp instead of cotton, and you can get about 2 or 3 crops of hemp a year for each one crop of cotton. It's about stepping through into a new way of doing. It's about consuming locally of what is in season instead of forced agriculture. It's just it's allowing the humus build-up of the soils because that's where a lot of the moisture and carbon is contained. Deep-rooted crops or deep-rooted grasslands. You have to look at the prairie grasslands compared to modern grasslands, the depth of the roots, which also help control flooding, but also keep moisture in the soil. This is very much about changing a cycle and walking towards the new horizon, a letting go of this greed, of this what's in it for me, letting go of what is not serving us and moving towards the new horizon. Walking away from the emotion of this energy, of trying to hang on to what was, because that's how we've always done it. No, just because that's how we've always done it does not mean that's how we need to do it in the future. Moving forward, starting this journey forward, we don't need to have all the solutions in place from the start. This is just start this transition, start this journey forward and make the changes as we go along and working together. Looking at what overseas countries are doing and taking their messaging on board and sharing the message. Oh, I do like these cards, and I think the youth are going to really be behind these changes. A new message being brought forward that we can feel inspired about. So there's no doom and gloom coming out of this, but we have to get past this energy here. We have to really rethink how we're using water, what we're doing with water, what is acceptable and what is no longer acceptable, and that comes from taking the blindfold off. So keep going, something unexpected out of left field coming forward, and it's going to be, emotionally it's going to be good, fine, it's my emotional joy, basically, because someone is going to step up and bring forth a new plan, a new way of doing, a new method, and they're doing so with strength. And this is very much about not getting caught up in the lamenting of what was, but look at what can be. What is it that we need to do? What is it, technology that we can bring to the table? What can we bring what do we have in the here and now that we can bring forth to create positive future going forward and bring about significant healing? Again, a lot of emotion here. Need to bring these emotions to the surface. What is the emotional connection to water we need to let go of? And the fact that she's drowning underwater here, she's drowning underwater. What is it about our emotional connection to water, to excessive water use? I'm just going to put it out there. Excessive water use that we feel that we need to hold on to. Is it that we emotionally feel that we need to fill the bath right up every evening and have a good long soak? Is it a feel that we need to have the water gushing from our pipes to show that we have abundance? What is it that we have to let go of so that we can move forward one step at a time, step into your power, your authority? Every one of us is a drop in the ocean. Every one of us can make change. And if we all make change, it might sound like if one of us makes change, it doesn't matter. But if a million of us does something differently, yes, it does. It is powerful. And it is one step at a time. There's no instant solution. It is one step at a time as we move forward slowly and steadily into this new future. Okay. So positive cards. If we can just step out of that energy that's there behind the scenes of the way we view this precious commodity. So I'm just going to draw a couple of cards from the Nature's Whispers Oracle just to clarify. So I think that actually pretty much covered the message that needed to get out there, that the universe wanted to get out there. But I'm just going to draw a couple of cards from the Nature's Whispers. Beautiful, beautiful deck, this one, just to summarize what they're talking about. So I think the outcome there was the potential forward, really, really good, but it is going to take quite a internal shift on how we acknowledge water, about how we use water, about how we see the use of water. Now, my particular suburban block, I don't have a lawn. I have heavily, heavily mulched gardens. So therefore, I don't put a lot of water on. We are on sand, but by mulching and building up the compost, etc., in the soil, I am improving the water holding ability of the soil. So in the middle of summer, I may need to water once a week. Instead of, if I didn't do anything, I would need to keep the plants alive, water once a day. Simple steps we can take. Simple steps, but let's have a look. Just what do we need? It's a rethink. It's a reuse about what is acceptable. So show me. Understanding that it's a closed circuit. Everything about this planet is a closed circuit. Water is one of those. Air is one of those. Soils are another. They all interact. Each affects the next. They are intertwined, but each is also a closed circuit. So show me, what do we need to know? Come on down. Okay. Be true to your heart. Know in your heart what needs to happen, what path you need to take. I'm just looking at the image here. We've got the ships on the ocean here, but she's opening, it's almost like she's opening pearl and seeing the value within, the light of the value. Also got a gramophone here, so this is also about sharing the message, getting the message out there. Second card is perfect setting. We have the ability to do this. We have a beautiful, beautiful planet. It's about creating, okay, thank you. Love it when my boys come in. They're talking about this particular card is about creating the perfect setting by working with the climate in your area. If you're semi-desert, succulents, cacti, whatever plants that you need to plant, mulch heavily for water retention if you need to, water capture off your roof with tanks if that's possible. It's about understanding the setting you are in, working with the location you are in, and making it perfect for the climate that you are in. Oh, I love that card. And be positive about it. I love that she's wading in a pool here, a billabong, a water source. Be positive about your attitude towards creating this perfect setting in the environment that you are in. Yes. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. This was actually a positive reading. I was expecting some doom and gloom. In the initial spread, it was very much about a need to break down current attitudes, a need to respect the preciousness of water, a need to rethink how we use it. But if we do so and we choose the option that will bring balance and peace, then all will be okay. There is enough for everybody as long as we use wisely and we are respectful. Okay, see how it plays. Love to you all. Take care.